Journal entry for March 27th, 2026. This was another sick day. I did go out though a bit. I am sick. I was poisoned with some type of illness or illnesses. I was given a drink that was laced with I don't know what was in it, but it's not strep throat. I don't think it's COVID. It's probably something unknown or hasn't obscure that hasn't been around much in a long time. Because these are the type of sicknesses that witches and warlocks use, things that are undetected, not well known. So, anyways, I think like maybe the phone rang. It might have been one of those spam calls. I can't remember, but or maybe my alarm went off. I can't remember. I got up and I thought to see if there was a free clinic to go to, because yesterday there was a prophecy video. And that video said to go to a doctor. At first I was worried it'd tell me not to take the medicine I just bought. The medicine is full of poison. It's not good. It's not good. But at the same time, I just bought it and I spent money and I didn't want to waste it. So I was hoping it didn't say that, like throw away the medicine you just bought. You don't hardly have any money. Like a random person gave me a $20 bill. The person that was at the Salvation Army when I was doing a pickup. They overheard me saying I was hoping they had medicine. They gave me $20. I went and bought some like knockoff NyQuil, medicated lip balm. I thought I had to get more. Some throat lozenges for sore throat. These didn't really help so much. Well, maybe they did a little. I hope that it gave me better sleep, but it was full of poison and I threw up. Anyways, but I don't know. Hopefully, it's not making me worse to take these things. But it had been a week, and I still was very sick. So, just having heard this prophecy video, it said, go to a doctor, God will show you where to go. So then I hopped on the computer. I got up, I think I turned off my alarm, and I looked up the health department, and I called. And this is like 2.2 miles from my house. So I called them and they said I could just come on in, and so I left. I biked. I did not go to the soup kitchen. I'm kind of staying away from there for now. They've hired another witch, so it's a narcissist and a witch working there, and a lot of enemies. I think maybe like when I'm sick, that means stay home. So I spent a lot of money on food. People gave me money and they specified, oh, this is for medicine, this is for food. And then I'm sick. So that to me means do not go to the soup kitchen. So I biked into this office. The wait wasn't very long. And then they felt bad for me, and then basically because I was low income and it was only going to be $5 to see the doctor, and they actually even waived that. They said, well, we want you to have enough money to buy your medicine, so this you could pay it next time. Like, oh yeah, I better, because I didn't know how much the medicine was going to be. But I did have some cash that somebody gave me. And I could have afforded the $5, but they gave me 4 different medications, so it was good that I didn't. It was best that I probably kept the money, because I didn't know how much it was going to be. They were really considerate. Well, at least the woman when I went, she saw that I was really sick. And I said I hadn't been to the doctor in like 17 years. I don't go. But I was so sick, drugged by a narcissist, that I had to go. I was not getting better. And I explained my symptoms, and I kind of thought it was strep throat or maybe even COVID or something. But they did those tests, and they turned up negative. I even could hardly talk, so I don't know what they gave me. Witches and warlocks find obscure illnesses and things that aren't really well known or that don't show up in tests. So I'm assuming that's it, but I got a lot of medicines, and when I went to, so there was 2 buildings. I went to one for the walk-in clinic, and then they have another appointment for me in a month, and I'll get an actual doctor I'll have a general practitioner. See, I was a person that has boycotted the medical establishment, but I think that it was best to get antibiotics right now. And with how much sore my throat was, they actually got me the throat spray that I was trying to buy at Dollar General and they didn't have. They gave me a prescription for it, so that was good. Um, and it was very affordable. It was less than $20. So if I had to pay the $5 too, it would have been more. Um, so I did not like. I think there were some spies in the waiting room because they were there before I came in, and they didn't leave until so they waited for me to get into line and then got in behind me. So I think they were spies, and sometimes they have their phones out. And the phones are pointing. They could possibly be recording me because it doesn't take that long to get the prescriptions ready. I don't think. I went in. I did not go to the soup kitchen, and they had a little coffee carafe and some creamer, and there was one cup sideways. So I don't know if this was messed with or not. It might have been, but I got that last cup, and it got me 2 cups of coffee while I was waiting, and then I got in line, and then they did follow me. Um, Another attack. This is just like what the witches do. So I knew there was enemies. They watch me. They see where I'm going. So I went to the health department. They knew that they had gotten me sick. So I went to the doctor. First time in like 17 years, I went to the doctor. And now I'm going to have a doctor next month. I'll have an actual doctor. Maybe this is not the worst thing in the world. Now, I don't really have money, but the rates, they were so reasonable that that was fair. And yeah, so then they said to wait 10 minutes or something, and then I got up to get in line, and then it was kind of going slow. So then I sat my coat down. I thought, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick because I got like to bike back is maybe 20 minutes or something. So I'm going to just go to the bathroom. And then I go in, and my fingers were a little sticky. So as I just was going to rinse my hand real quick and then go in the stall. But as I was rinsing my hand, a woman zipped in and she went into the big stall. They do this. Nobody was using the bathroom. So like people came in, they knew I was there. So new people came in and they zipped in the bathroom and then went in that big stall right before I could. And it's like, I knew what they were doing, but there was another stall. I just used the smaller one. The smaller one wasn't really tiny, so there actually was room to get in there, so that was fine. But like, I didn't mean to look, but as I'm walking into this stall, I could see through the crack. The woman came in the bathroom. She was just sitting on the toilet and playing on her phone. I don't think she was going to the bathroom. She was just sitting there and playing on the phone, so I couldn't use it. I did not hear anyone going to the bathroom or anything like that. Like she just went in, sat down, and played on her phone. And I didn't mean to look. Like I was just going in, but like there were, it's like the way the crack was, you could see leaning forward, looking at the phone. And then I came out, washed my hands, and she was still in there not doing anything. So it was just to keep me out of the good bathroom. But anyways, oh well, the other one worked fine. I got my medicine. The price was reasonable. Went home, had a nap. Now there still is no heat in my house. It's 34 degrees right now, according to Microsoft. It says on the bottom of my screen that it's 34 degrees. So when I did come home again in the evening, I just left my coat on and I haven't taken it off. But I realized, like, I was eating a banana and the banana was cold, like it was in a refrigerator or something. So it is cold in my house. But I did buy a heated throw blanket, so that makes it a little tolerable. Um, So the missionaries at the Mormon church asked if I was going to be at church this weekend, and they also had an Easter meal planned, and they asked if I was going to go to that. And I saw the time was today, this evening, from I think it was 6 to 8. Let me write this thing down. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. Okay. So apparently there was a storm last night, and it was like kind of warm yesterday. And then I thought I would bike down to Dollar General um, because I had to exchange something that I got there. Um, I was just gonna do a quick exchange and go back. And when I come out, like the winds are weird and the sky looks weird, and I feel like a little drop of rain. I'm like, oh, okay, there's something weird is happening, and I want to see what's going on too. Not the best idea, but this is like 2 blocks away. It's not that far. 2, 3 blocks away. Um, it's close to my house, so even if it started raining, I would be fine. But it was almost like not like a tornado, but something like pre-tornado weather. It was really interesting, and apparently, like the so yes, I am now boycotting Dollar General. But I guess this is sign number one. Yesterday when I went there, I was returning something, and I'm on a bicycle, and they were taking their time, and that's fine. That's fine. But when it was time for me to check out, like they kind of walked like, oh look at this, and then they looked outside, and then they came back. And that was really fast. That's okay. They're pointing out the weather and how crazy the weather was. And then they forgot to take off. There was like a security tag, and so I went through and it beeped, and I'm like, oh you didn't get this. They're like, oh oops. So they were just not being good at employees. They were careless. Okay. This didn't offend me though, because it didn't look personal, but it probably was. Anyways, I put the bag on my bike and I got a few sprinkles on me. It was crazy weather last night, and it was kind of fun to bike in that and see what was going on. But anyways, because of the storm yesterday, the church where they were going to have the Easter dinner, the power is out. And they said the power was out until 11 at night. No power. So I biked down there, and then no one's there. And then I see one other car. I bike towards it, and I ask, "Are you here for the Easter dinner?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then they're like, "I don't know, no one's here." And so they call, and so I'm just on the bike, and they're calling, and they said, "Oh, the power's out. They rescheduled it for tomorrow." So the dinner I thought I was going to get, there was no dinner. Um, but I guess there's lunch tomorrow, because God does all things for a reason. So this is probably for, of course, it's for the best. Um, I don't know what they would have had planned. But now someone's been notified I was going to go, so maybe they'll have a little trick for me waiting. Maybe they'll try to poison me again tomorrow, I don't know. Maybe they won't, because, like, they do make me sneeze and do make me sick, but it's not this bad. It's not like something deadly, like what the narcissist tried to do, or the narcissist did. Then I headed back, and then I was getting close to my house, and it's like I'm already out. You know, maybe God got me out for some reason, and I think maybe there was an event going on at this other church, so I'm gonna bike by these other churches before I go home. I bike by the first church. There's a person sitting inside. I press the intercom button. This woman, like, she sees me, and then she goes all the way upstairs and like runs away when I press the button. I'm like, okay. And then there's like a few cars in the parking lot, and then this someone's opening the door, and I go towards them, and I ask, "Is there a service tonight?" And they said, "Oh no, I don't think." And then when I'm talking to them, a person finally comes and opens the door, a different person of the church, and I said, "Do you have an Easter service tonight?" And he said no. And so there was like foreigners here, and I don't know why, but they ran away. So they keep the door locked for security. Um, and I'm the biggest threat apparently. They have let murderers and criminals into their churches. They do this free Sunday breakfast. They let serious criminals in there. They don't care. But I'm the threat. They try to keep me out. People run away when I come near. And they're like, "Oh, nothing's going on." I'm like, okay, and then I leave. It's just like a woman on a bike is the biggest threat apparently. And then a few blocks away is this other church with Pastor Jay, who I thought was a good pastor, and I still do, but you know, maybe there's some things I don't know. Because I think he's a good pastor. He's just not sure how he's just not sure that he's a good pastor. But I don't know. I don't think he's complicit with the covens that operate in. He just lets covens operate. He lets covens operate in his church. Uh, I don't know if I don't know if he's aware of this or not. If he is aware, then he is complicit. If he is aware, then he's complicit to some degree. So I don't really know. But I thought he was one of the better pastors. Um, and I remembered looking at a flyer, and I thought they had something going on today. So I'm going to swing by there and see if there's some service. Because they're going to have an Easter dinner at this one church. Well, maybe another church has a dinner going on. Or an event going on. Because I was looking for dinner, but it was not even really that. Because I did just get some food. I did just have some food delivered to my house, so I did have something to eat. I didn't absolutely need it tonight. But I was thinking maybe there's a meal going on or an event going on in another church. And so I went to this church again. And there was people in there. And so I went to open the door opens, and then there's a tall man in there, and I'm like, oh, is there service going on this evening? He's like, oh, no, we're just here to clean the stained glass windows. We're just here to clean the stained glass windows. Like, oh, do you mind if I get one of these flyers? I'm like, no, he doesn't care. I go in and I get one of their little pamphlets that says what the holiday schedule is. But actually, as I'm at the door, the warlock, there's a recovery center. This man was involved, or I don't know, he was there when I was poisoned. He was pretending to be in the friend group, pretending to be my friend. He walks past and looks at me, and I'm just there. And then I go and get the paper. Then I see the man who is a narcissist, the serpent with the long blonde hair from the soup kitchen. And he's up on a ladder, and in this whole building, there's like one person that I don't recognize, and they were probably just a worker. And then it was these two agents for the Kingdom of Darkness in there. They have both pretended to be my friend, and they just betray me and backstab me all the time, and then make my life worse. So I think this time, like maybe they thought that I wasn't sure, but I think they crossed the line so far that they didn't even pretend to be friends this time. They walked the shorter man just walked past me, and then he looked at me as he went. Like he did not expect me to be there. No one was there. It was just those two in there. I don't know, maybe the pastor was in the office, but I don't think so. So it was just like some man that was like a worker, and then these two warlocks were there. Or the serpent and a warlock were there. He walks past me and looks, and then I walk and get the pamphlet, and I look down. So then I look into the church area where they are, and the man with the long blonde hair is up on the ladder, and he's holding like the stained glass mirror, and then they're putting them back. So the windows were open, or they took the panels out, and they were putting them back in. And they saw me. He turned his head, looked at me, didn't say anything. He always would have said something to me. This time he didn't say anything. And then they quickly closed the windows. They didn't say anything to me. So they know they're not even going to pretend to be a friend anymore. They're not going to do that. And I leave, and I go outside, and the windows that were open are now closed. So they saw me coming, and they closed the windows right away. And they looked at me and did not say anything. They were busted. They were doing something at that church. Now, warlocks don't just volunteer and do stuff for free. I don't know what they were doing at that church. It's like they run the church or something. That Pastor Jade, I don't know if he's aware. He's got these covens in his church. He's not stopping them. And I understand, you got to let them come in. But you don't let them do operations in your church. Like, you don't let them... You don't let them fix things and clean things in your church, and no one else is there. They're doing like secret rituals and things. They're putting up demonic altars in your church when you're not watching. So anyways, then Anyways, I went around the outside and I rung my little bell right as I passed the closed window with the narcissist on it. And I went around and I thought, actually, like when I first came here, I went around the property, I posted angels, protected the property, burnt down the altars and stuff. So I did this type of thing again. I biked around a couple, like maybe once or twice, and like I prayed to God, trying to fill the place with light, protect it with angels. Um, I don't remember exactly what I said. It's just burn any like make their magic spells or rituals, like none of them will work. So I just went around and I prayed to God to protect this church and reclaim this church for the kingdom. So I don't know visibly, like they were there. It is now Friday night before Easter. Well, I don't know when exactly Easter is. It's the 27th. This narcissist lives like more than 20 miles away. He lives more than 20 miles away and drives all the way to my small town. And him and the other warlocks. Why? So they can go and clean the stained glass windows in the church? Is that really what they're doing? No, they don't do anything to help legitimately. There's an ulterior motive, and I don't know what it was. But I prayed to burn any demonic altars. It had been several months since I had last prayed this, so then I did that again and posted angels to protect this property and to stop all of their spells, to stop all of their plans. So I think God brought me to this church, and I caught them in the act. This is the whole church. I only saw one man, and then these two enemies. So this one man, I don't know. He could have just been a neutral person. I don't know. I think he was just a regular guy, and he might have been doing some maintenance. But then, so there was just a regular guy in there. This is what I think. I don't necessarily think he was evil or anything. Just a normal guy was in there. And then when I was talking to him, then the warlock walked past and looked me in the eyes. He did not expect me to be there. And I go in to grab the pamphlet. So you mind if I get a pamphlet? It's like, yeah, they don't care. I went in to get the pamphlet, and then I look down so there's like a little lobby area, and then there's the church area. And so then I look into the church area, and I see the narcissist on the ladder, and he turns his head and he looks at me. He doesn't say anything. I don't know if they're concerned, but they closed those windows right away. And then I came home, or actually I went to Dollar General, and this is what I am now boycotting Dollar General. God doesn't want me to go there anymore. And it's something dumb, like I had some cash left. And when I placed my Walmart delivery order, because my father sent me some money, they canceled my Little Debbie cakes. And I was really looking forward to these spring butterfly cakes, because they taste good. And so then I had no sweets left. So, of course, I'm like, I have no sweets left. I want sweets. I'm going to Dollar General. It's almost Sabbath. It's not Sabbath yet. I'm not going to bike 2 miles to Walmart. This Dollar General is like 2 or 3 blocks away. I'm going to just bike down there and pay extra money to get some candies and things there. So then I see the Little Debbie's, and then I see other stuff. I'm like, I'm going to buy more candies. I'll get an ice cream, and I'll get a bag of chips. And so I didn't intend on getting all of this. But, it has been a long time. I have not been buying my food. I've just been going to the soup kitchen, and I eat what they give me. They give me moldy bread. They give me, they serve pork. They give me stuff that's not as good, like little fruits or the things I don't like as much, just to mess with me. So, I'm going to buy a bunch of snacks today. And then I had a lot, and I was holding it. And then I looked down the aisle, and there's a cart sitting there, and it's got a box in it. And the box was just the right size. It's an empty box, like when they stocked the shelves, and they just left the empty box there. So I grabbed the box, and I put my stuff in there. Because I didn't get a cart when I went in. I'm like, I don't need a cart. I'm just going to get, like, Little Debbie's. And then I looked at the baskets, and the baskets were all dirty. There was, like, brown gunk in the baskets. And I looked at it, and I put it down. It's like, that's dirty. I don't want to use that. So I go in, and then my hands are full. So then I look down the aisle, here's a box. So then I put my stuff in the box. Okay. And the box is pretty full, and it's just the right size to put my stuff in. And then I walk to the checkout. When I get to the checkout, the employee is a younger man. Now, of course, he is rude again. And these employees, they don't do a very good job. They need to learn something from Japan where they treat the customers right. But anyways, he's like, "Oh, we don't let customers use these boxes." He gave me kind of a little dirty look. He said, "We don't let customers use these to put, you know." And so I took the stuff out of the box and I put it up on the thing, and I sat the box over there by the bag thing. And he said, "We don't let customers use these to put their stuff in." It was just like a box like this big. It wasn't a very large box. And so this was pretty rude, cause like, he could have easily just said, "Oh, I need that," or we return these boxes, or like, "I can't give you the box," or any. No, he was rude. So he's like, "We don't let customers use these to shop with. We don't let customers use these to shop with." And so then and he was being rude. So then I tried to ask him a few more questions and about this. And like, are people misusing these boxes, or I say, "If you don't need that box, it's being thrown away. I could ship something in it." He's like, "No, we don't do that." I said, "Are people misusing the boxes?" And he said, "No, these are our boxes. These are our boxes." And like, we don't let people use them unless we ask the manager. And I think I asked him one more thing, because this was rude, and I want to make sure that he actually didn't have he might have had a legitimate reason to be frustrated with a customer picking up a box because their hands were full, putting the stuff in the box. And I took the stuff out of the box at the checkout. Well, and he's like, "These are our boxes. We return them and we get paid for the box." I will call BS on that, but maybe he would get half of a cent. Maybe they'll get 1 penny for this box. It seriously was like a chocolate candy box, like this big, that was opened. I can't see him getting any money for that, but maybe 1 cent. And so I just purchased all this candy there. And like, that was really rude, because he made more money off of my sale than the 1 cent that he might get from the box, which I highly doubt. So it was just the way it was handled. Because just the way he looked at me was kind of rude, and the way he talked to me was rude. And so then I asked him more questions. I'm like, "Okay." And so it was never considerate. He could see I had been in there the day before. And the day before that, I had bought medicine. I was polite. Maybe he didn't see me the first day. I think he saw me the second day. I was polite. Didn't cause any trouble. But then he was rude. He could hear my voice was very raspy. He could see that I was sick and that I'm alone. And I was trying to small talk and be nice. This was rejected. So this man was rude. And for this reason, I am not going to Dollar General again. That's it. I'm done. You're on there with Dollar Tree. And if any narcissists want to come on my channel and say, "Oh, it's Dollar General, what do you expect?" This is not to be expected. This is not to be expected. It's time to bring heaven down to earth. You got to treat people with respect and common decency. And for some reason, as a female, with no one that helps me or anything, I get treated the worst. People just try to take advantage of me, break my stuff, steal from me, be rude to me. They don't want to give me a tissue. It's like I'm scum on the bottom of their foot. And God is rendering judgment. And so this, he could have worded it, he could have said the same thing and worded it in a way that was not rude. But he chose not to. And for that, I am not going to Dollar General again. That's it, I'm done. Just like the woman at Dollar Tree. I don't care if your merchandise isn't expensive. These people sit around and they actually are working. But they're not working that hard. I would say Dollar General, they probably work harder than in Dollar Tree. They probably work harder than a lot of other places. Now, this recovery center where the warlock is, so there's the warlock I just saw at the church that walked past, the shorter one. He does not volunteer at the soup kitchen. This the shorter man that's a warlock. He does not have long blonde hair. He has dark hair and he's shorter. He works at this recovery center. He doesn't work at all. This man, he basically gets paid to do nothing because when I go to this center, sometimes, and I'm not going back, but sometimes I'll go in and if they normally have their coven come in to try to get me, and when they know I'm coming, then they'll show up. But when I just showed up unannounced, they start breaking my bike, so I don't do that. But when I show up unannounced, there's maybe one person in this group, and they're coloring a picture. This is an adult, if a 40-year-old adult, or they're cutting out a flower, or they're coloring a picture, and they're not doing any work. He's getting paid a lot of money to do nothing, and he doesn't help. And then he spread my secret around what I told, and I said, don't tell anyone. And he told all these people, and they didn't help. And was involved in poisoning my food. And I believe and the management was involved in damaging my bicycle because they did not want to look at the security footage. So this entire center is ran by witches and warlocks. Their idea of eat for free is they have a job where they're paid to do nothing, and you will be exposed. This center here, there's hardly anyone in there. They don't work. They're not doing anything. They maybe talk a little bit, or eat some snacks, or color a picture like kindergarten. They're not doing any work. And this warlock that works there, all he does is complain about his wife the whole time and about how horrible his wife is and how he doesn't want to have sex with his wife. He would rather talk, and then his wife sucks. I actually think this man, his wife had a broken arm. I'm thinking this man might have actually abused his wife. I don't even know. The thought went through my mind because it wasn't healing. That maybe, because he says nasty things about his wife all the time behind her back. Maybe he broke her arm. Maybe not. I don't know. But, I am suspicious. Because if they're involved in trying to give me some sickness and breaking my bike over and over again, I overlook this stuff and I let God take care of it. But Easter's coming up, and maybe God wants me to go on the offense. Maybe God wants me to go on the offense here. Because you guys have been stealing money, a position that's not necessary. You don't have anyone coming in. I actually wanted to come in, wanted to help. And then you break my bicycle and share the private information I told you in confidence. You spread it around and then poison my food. And then there's lucky to be one adult in there. Maybe there's 3 adults in there. And they're just talking and coloring a picture. You got some poster board. You really need, how much do they make? $50,000 a year? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This just reminds me of communism. So the people at Dollar General work much harder than this. They work much harder than this, I will say. But I was not treated with respect. It's just another thing. It kind of got me down. Because, as I said with the pastor, no one cares about me. I didn't tell him that, but I think he does. And that is rare. The Dollar General, they were just rude. Oh, we don't let people use this box. And then take it, he didn't need to say anything. He could have just picked up the box and put it in the back and not said anything. But he had to say a little rude comment. There's no sign in the store that says, if you see an empty box, don't pick it up. I mean, this is nuts. It's just a chance to be a jerk. And so I'm not going there. And I'm going to Dollar Tree. I'm avoiding the soup kitchen now because they've hired another witch. And they try to say things to hurt my feelings when I go in. So I don't know what God's judgment's going to be. I stand back and wait, but maybe God wants me to be involved and tell what these people have done. I'm putting these videos out here, anyone, if I tell some type of law enforcement agency in the future, they can come back and review these videos later. That's fine. You can hear my voice. No one else was sick like this. No one else in the group was sick like this. I live by myself. I'm not around children. They put something in my drink, and they did it at this recovery facility at the cornhole game. So got their spies around, watching me, following me. They are sending people into the gym to try to frame me so that they want me to get kicked out of there. I don't know. But now I'm concerned that possibly one of their employees is compromised because this employee was also at the church and he looked like an enemy. He was with a woman that I think had done a curse on me. He knew my name and he's like, "Oh, I know you from the gym." "Yes, you do, Paul." And I said, "You're not Paul of Tarsus, are you?" He's like, "No." I said, "Then we don't have a problem." But I have my reservations now. Thanks for watching. God bless you.